Introducing you to the people of Uniondale. This is the voice of Uniondale, Nicole Burke.
Hi, friends. Welcome, if this is your first time listening, or welcome back to another exciting episode of The Voice of Uniondale. I'm your host, Nicole Burke, and today's guest is someone whose story will truly leave you inspired. She's a changemaker, an educator, a wellness leader, and someone who has spent her life turning passion into purpose. Meet Leslie Pieters-Klatsky. Leslie was raised between Guyana and Uniondale, and that rich cultural experience shaped the roots of her work. For over 25 years, she's been a physical educator, wellness advocate, and environmental steward who's brought movement, history, and healing into classrooms, parks, and communities across Long Island. From being the first Black woman to graduate Hofstra's athletic training program, to launching Roosevelt's girls soccer team, to leading the community as the first full-time woman athletic director, Leslie has consistently made history while uplifting others. She's also the founding president of the Roosevelt Historical Society and a proud member of Rotary International. But her true superpower, you may ask, is her commitment to building healthier, more informed, and more connected communities through education, environmental work, and intergenerational service. Whether she's leading a fitness class outdoors, teaching young students, or organizing cleanups and wellness events, Leslie is always moving with heart. Let's get into this powerful and purposeful conversation with Leslie Pieters-Klatsky. Welcome, Leslie, and thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. So let's get started with how it all began for you.
It began in, of course, Guyana. Mm-hmm. And Guyana is indoor for eating and sleeping, and I guess outdoor for everything else. Mm-hmm. So I am used to being outdoors. I'm used to being outside until it's time to go in, until you're outside time during school for vacation and, of course, PE. Mm-hmm. Recreation, and PE. And then you're playing, and there was something about this moment that I was recalling with someone the other day. We cleaned up our schoolyard.
Really?
So imagine each class has a day where we had a stick with a pointer, a nail at the end of it, something like that,
yes.
Way back. Mm-hmm. And each class would have their day to clean up the yard. Now think about it. Would it be a really messy yard if you are responsible as a kid for cleaning it up?
No, right?
It wasn't excessive work. So I remembered that. So you always had a clean place to play.
Smart.
And so from those years and from playing outside, being outside, maybe that's what I'm so comfortable with, being outside and doing a lot of things outside until now.
Yeah.
But that's where it started.
And that's where it started.
Yeah,
and it planted the seed within you to want to get into health?
Yes, it planted the seed for just activities. Just, I think for me, being a kid and being comfortable playing, mm-hmm. It was just fun. And it was just mindless learning, actually.
Yes.
And we sat outside and played. My friend and I made dolls. And I'm really going back because just starting asking me about where it all began and when it began, mm-hmm. That was the seed. And we had agriculture classes. So what was mandatory in the school.
Was this elementary or?
Elementary, way back when.
Uh-huh.
If I am seeing my transcript right now, you had PE, you had English, math, social studies, and so on, and agriculture.
Isn't that something?
And it was a big garden.
Yeah.
And one of the days, one of the periods was spent outside in agriculture class, planting, reaping, sowing,
wow,
weeding.
Wow, that's fantastic. So you brought that. You came over to Uniondale. When did you come to Uniondale?
I was around 10, 11.
Okay, so you were still like elementary, middle
yes.
school.
Yes, finishing up elementary school, yes.
Right. Did you do any sort of planting when you came up here?
Well, it so happened that we planted at home.
Okay.
So
that's good.
That was reinforced at home. we always had a garden. My mom always had impatiens in the front. And because I had I had the agricultural experience, I'll say, at home and school, back home, back in Guyana, I also had it here at home, and then basically sought after it in Uniondale. But when it wasn't, I guess, available, I found it wherever I could, in friends and family's yards.
Nice.
Until I would have been able 2 years later do it myself, of course.
Right.
For myself and students. Yeah.
Wow. So when you say 2 years later, when you left out of Hofstra, like what was the sequence?
So
how did it go?
So after school, primary school, secondary school, post-secondary school, I started to teach.
Okay.
So it so happened that being back in a school setting, I gather I lucked out with having really great administrators who allowed me to plant a garden and several beds on campuses. And lucky for me, I've been in several schools in one district, so I was able to plant and facilitate grants, get grants for planting a garden, and infusing that into my PE classes.
So you became a physical education teacher,
yes.
educator. And then from there, administration helped you. And then you got into administration because it sounded like when you said you were seeking out grants, that's part of the administrative side as well.
Yes, I was lucky to have earned some grants as a teacher, writing some mini grants, and that earning a mini grant for, get this, and thanks to my students who allowed me to bring this into the classroom and to allowed me to introduce them to it. And I'm grateful for them for joining me in doing agrobics. So that's what I called it.
Agrobics. Okay, so let me stop you right there. Agrobics was for elementary students? Like which grade level were you teaching at that time?
So as a physical educator, I am able to teach K to 12. So I was able to teach in the elementary school when I first started. And then I don't know if you know about many school districts still have, but have had a junior senior high school.
Yes, okay.
So we had a junior senior high school. There was a split. I taught in both the junior senior high school, the middle school, then it split to middle and then high. And so having that experience in all the schools, you see, I was able to have that class in all the schools. So we've had it in elementary, we've had it in middle, thanks especially to my middle school students. We've had it in the high school students. As an administrator, we've had it also where the students, now I'm not in the classroom, so those who wanted or needed community service, I was able to do that with them.
So talk a bit about what is
agrobics.
Agrobics. Okay.
Agricultural aerobics. Agriculture plus aerobics equals agrobics.
Agrobics. Love it.
So years ago, I just came up with this idea that, let's see, what can I do to make it a PE-related agricultural gardening experience and low-impact aerobics experience.
Wow.
And I literally received a mini grant for agrobics. I think it was either $1,000 or $1,500. And and then in so doing, I was able to get some help from, there was an organization, Sustainable Long Island, and they were able to match me and actually join my efforts, what I couldn't afford, of course.
Right.
I literally left that school and moved up to the high and actually took some things from the middle to the high school with about, 8 beds of gardening.
This is during a period in the school day that they take aerobics?
Yes, this is my PE period.
What is that, 50 minutes? So what does that 50 minutes look like? They come in.
So they come in, and for PE, they dress out. So they're able to not get their clothes dirty because they're dressing out for PE.
Right.
And we're going outside, and they're weeding, planting, sowing, that's what we're doing outside for class. There's some playing time, but that unit was the aerobics unit. And since they're still dressed, there's a way to move from that part where we had the garden to the field. And but
did they do jumping jacks? Did they do push-ups?
Oh yes, all the above.
Oh, really?
So
They do that for 10 minutes, and then they tend to the beds?
they tend to the bends, yes.
Oh.
Now remember, gardening is that unestimated aerobic exercise that you are doing activity. You are bending, you are stretching, you are pulling, you're strengthening, you're moving around. So you are doing your endurance, you are strengthening, you are doing your flexibility in that experience of aerobics.
Yeah.
So that's what it's all about. It's using that to exercise.
That's great how you were able to put the two loves together.
Yes.
Fantastic.
It was an amazing experience. And again, to have young people join in, I have some great pictures of them. And this is something that when they see themselves, I love when students see themselves doing something, especially something that they probably were not expecting themselves to do.
Right.
And
they can see the fruits of their labor after.
Well, yes. So
the harvesting.
That's when those were the great pictures when we planted. We had a strawberry patch, planted squash. We had some greens, and they planted what we did. We used, again, the green experience. We asked the school, my colleagues, for yogurt cups.
Oh, okay. Yes.
And so we planted the seeds in there, started a seedling, and then took them outside and planted the seedlings into the ground. We had some beds. Later on, we painted the beds and then just tended to them and made sure that they grew.
Yeah.
And then we reaped and we enjoyed the fruits of our labor.
Love that. Love that. Now, going into the community, how did you help the adults with the cleanups? Do you do the same thing?
So it so happens that the school community, very important that, and again, I'm grateful for my colleagues to join in. Remember, this is the school community and the community at large. These were parents, and when one tells another and another, starting with the children, their parents now were the first to be a part of community cleanup. But then when something happens, when you do something and then someone else finds out and someone comes to you and asks, so would you consider doing a introduction to this nature preserve? Would you, since you like nature, do you mind in introducing the community to the preserve? At the time was the Roosevelt Preserve, and it so happens that I took them up on it and reintroduced people to it because people were used to that when they were younger. So some of the people, it so happened that they liked the fact that they were introduced to this again.
Right.
We did nature walks in the preserve. We did cleanups. It so happens that things fly into the preserve. It's supposed to be no motorized vehicles. Well, correction, there are two types of preserves. One where you can have motorized vehicles.
Okay.
Like the Massapequa Preserve, for instance. You can bike right there. You can do certain things there. In other preserves along what I call the Sunrise Corridor and elsewhere, no motorized vehicles are allowed. It's just walking the trails. Okay. And what I found myself doing, first with the North Shore Land Alliance, I've been volunteering with them since, 2007, 2008. And they, I think, got me into environmental stewardship more so. Because, again, you have a teacher, you have materials, you have a place a resource to tap into. Right. And with them, I was able to now find out more about lands and open spaces, and that's what I wanted to introduce people, the community, to.
Okay. What would you say is important for people who are listening to know, or what should they do with their own community as pertaining to nature, planting, aerobics, health, all your loves?
So for people to know that every community, let's just take these towns on Long Island, that every community has a nature preserve. So Uniondale has a preserve behind Uniondale High School. Roosevelt has one. Freeport, the Brookside Preserve. Merrick, the Maroque Preserve. Every community has that space, that open space that's supposed to be a clean space, untapped, where you can, I call it going into recalibrate.
Yeah.
So every community has that space.
I was not familiar with that.
And so definitely doing that, going into the preserve, let's say, for a walk.
Right. Is there specific times that they're open? Who do you go to find out when you can go in?
It's like a park from sunrise to sundown.
Okay.
So I think I would also encourage people to, if they go to an entrance of a preserve and they can't get in,
Yes.
then they'll probably need to call the Nassau County Parks and Recreation, call somebody, because it's supposed to be
Accessible to
the public, yes.
Okay.
So let's say there are fallen branches. Let's say there's debris. It's supposed to be cleaned. If you want to do a community cleanup, call me. But you can do that within your community. And so schools are encouraged to do that, because a lot of times the schools are close to these preserves. As I said, the one is behind Uniondale. Freeport is across from Freeport High School. Roosevelt is a mile away, because I would walk the mile with my students, a mile away from the school. Closer to the elementary school, around the corner from the high school and middle school, about a mile. So that is a great project, I would say, for schools to do. But the community, it is right there and is accessible and available for everyone to take a part of, sunrise to sundown, when it's light out. I would encourage people to actually use in that space the walking alone, walking the trails. That is your exercise right there.
Right.
If you want to bike ride, there's some that you can go to that allow bikes and so on.
Motor.
Yeah.
Now, when you say people could walk, is it safe?
It's safe. So, because again, if it is not used, if there's no foot traffic, remember, things grow in, and if it seems unsafe, is that there's hardly any traffic.
Right.
If a preserve is being used daily, every so often, if you're seeing people, more than likely it's going to deter a lot of unsavory activities, I'll say.
Right.
If it's just abandoned, let's say, and overgrown and so on, well, it's likely to be a different place.
Okay, makes sense. So what role are you in? What capacity, what role are you in now? Are you still an educator? What do you do? I'm
still an educator. So I am I call the babies. I teach K to 6 PE.
Okay.
And involved in that is a lot of introduction to fitness. I don't just call it sports. We do a lot of things that the idea for PE actually is to have students enjoy exercising later on in life. It's supposed to be something, once you leave school, you are not only literate, you have what we call physical literacy. So you are encouraged to do something after you leave the classroom. You are encouraged actually during the time to do things on weekends with your family. You're encouraged to not only can you always have a team to play soccer, not necessarily, but you can do something on your own. You can dance. True. You can walk the trails.
Right.
And I see you can play so many things in those preserves and parks also. And I'm encouraging people to use those parks. When I pass by parks and on a nice day, not a steaming hot day, but a nice day, even on a steaming hot day.
Yeah.
The parks are, I would like to see more people in the parks.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Like when you were growing up.
Yep.
Yeah. Move your body. Speaking of as you were growing up, did you picture yourself when you were younger back in Guyana doing what you're doing now?
No, believe it or not as a physical educator.
Mm-hmm.
I imagined being a teacher.
Okay.
So I did see myself being a teacher. My first love or my first job was actually as a science teacher. So physical science
Wow.
and biology. Mm-hmm. And it so happens, as it usually does in my life, I'm usually at the intersection of something.
Uh-huh.
And then, believe it or not, they needed at the time, almost 30 years ago, they needed a woman in the classroom. In the gymnasium, I should say.
Oh, okay, because I was like, you were
Yes.
in the classroom, science teacher. Okay, so in the gymnasium.
In the gymnasium, so...
Look at all these opportunities.
Yes,
Okay. Uh-huh.
So they asked me, I know we hired you for physical science and bio. Would I mind being a physical educator? Because I had the background in it.
Okay.
So it so happened with my athletic training background,
Mm-hmm.
I was able to navigate the sciences, the health sciences, physical education, and so on, cure and prevention, all of the above because of that. Thank you, Hofstra, from my athletic training background. So with that, I definitely did not picture
Being a
physical educator today. But it just rolled into this opportunity from it was scaffolded from the classroom to the gymnasium from
I would say life.
From life. Yeah.
Yeah. It seems like the universe knew what it had planned for you. You just was like a smorgasbord. You took pieces that what you enjoyed and what that's what I'm hearing you say that you loved, and they all married them together with opportunities coming your way. You just had to be in the right place. It seemed like you followed what you were supposed to do.
I like that. I'll take that.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm gathering from you. Anything coming up? Any events upcoming for you?
So I call it, right now it's summer. I'm thinking a lot of people are out and about. I call it Fall into Fitness. There are two. Mm-hmm. So there's either a Spring into Fitness. I'll see you around Groundhog's Day.
Okay.
That's when we early fit into fitness, and Spring into Fitness. And then we're coming into Fall into Fitness, where I'm encouraging for people to, it's cooler. I'm encouraging all to work out with me. And a lot of times it just takes a minute to get into it.
True.
Because I'm from the school of getting started. If you never start, you'll never begin.
Preach.
Just 1 second, 1 minute. So that's something that I'm falling into. And
that's falling into part one.
Yes.
All right.
And that's falling into the fall. So fall into fitness and just starting with 1 minute at a time.
Love that. Go ahead and share your contact information with us for anyone who wants to know more about what you do or get involved with Fall into Fitness.
So 1 minute workout is on Instagram, so I can be found on Instagram. You can DM me on Instagram. LinkedIn, my projects are on there. It's either a Preserve and to Preserve project, if nature walking and is your love, or 1 minute workshops. And with that, it's working out either virtually or outside, which I love, any time of the year. So definitely LinkedIn is my name, Leslie Pieters-Klatsky.
Girl, you got to say that a little bit slower.
So Leslie Pieters-Klatsky, Leslie Zalika Pieters-Klatsky.
Okay, perfect.
On LinkedIn and message me, or 1 minute workout on Instagram.
Okay, so that's the number one, or you write it out?
Write it out.
Okay, ONEMINUTE. Workout, WORKOUT, on Instagram.
That's it.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for sharing your wealth of information and telling us about how you can put all your loves together and how they come together in the future, Leslie. We are close to the ending of the show, and the way I like to wrap up the show is by asking my guests to share something positive, something insightful that they've learned throughout their life. Whenever you had any challenging times, since the show does come on Wednesday and it's the middle of the week, it's just some words to uplift my friends who are listening. Here's your opportunity to do that.
I'll say this, with this 1 minute, a lot of times it takes just that much time to take pause, to make a decision, to turn the tide, to get into something, of course positive, using a lot of times we don't have a lot of time. And I think we wait for the right time. Mm-hmm. You know that expression when all the ducks in a row are lined up in a row. My philosophy, what has been helping me is to take out, sometimes it's just a minute that you have.
Yes.
To check in, to check out, and to basically to pause sometimes. And it really helps in so many facets of life.
Thank you, Leslie, for sharing. Friends, you've heard it here from Leslie Pieters-Klatsky. She is a physical educator for several decades. She says, her positive words, she says, friends, it only takes a minute. It takes a minute to pause. It takes a minute to make a decision, to get into whatever it is that's stopping you from doing what you need to do. It takes a minute to check in. It takes a minute to check out. You do not have to wait to have all your ducks in a row. You just need to take 1 minute out of the 24 hours. I don't even know how many minutes are in 24 hours, but you just have to take 1 minute just to move. That's her positive message. Thank you, Leslie, for being here. Thank you, friends, for listening. You are listening to The Voice of Uniondale. My name is Nicole Burke. Make sure to follow us on Spotify at The Voice of Uniondale. And make sure to come back next week to hear another journey from Uniondale. Bye for now.